Hey, what is up? This is Mr. Chin here. Today we have a 2018 Mercedes E400 coupe. And I gotta say that this coupe is cool, man. This thing has got a gray matte wrap. It's actually beautiful. It's got some hyper orange powdered coated calipers. And he's even got a carbon fiber deck spoiler on here. That's actually very, very cool. But we're gonna be changing some engine air filters in this thing. So let's get right to it. This thing is real easy. You can probably get this thing done in about 3 to 5 minutes. So let's get started. The following procedure will apply to any Mercedes models with the M276 3-liter twin-turbo engine, similar to the E400 we are working on. This is a list of some of the Mercedes vehicles that share the same air filter. Following is also a list of companies that manufacture air filters along with the part numbers. If you are unsure, have a parts professional check and see if these parts are right for your Mercedes. Alright, so the tools that you're going to need is you're going to need one of these with a T25 bit. Okay, flathead screwdriver. And you might need this too, a little pick right here. But if you got a really, really small flathead screwdriver, you can also use it. I'll show you what that's used for. And we got a pair of the male air filters here. There's 1 and 2. There's 2 air filters for the engine. And there's your part number right there, LX2841/7. First thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking off this cover right here. This is the engine cover. You're just going to take off this rubber piece right here. So you see I lift it up, I work around, that's come loose, and then I just like to pull here, and at the back, and that comes right out. All right, so here are your 2 air filters here. Here's air filter 1, there's air filter 2. And before we take this off, all you're gonna do is you're gonna disconnect these connectors. All right, now to take this connector out, it's very easy. There's a little plastic piece here, and just take your flathead screwdriver, and I like to just rotate it like that, and it clips out like that. Now how it's supposed to come out is you're supposed to push this down, and then the connector is supposed to actually come out, but you might find it actually gets stuck, right, which is right here. Right, that tab has to lift up. So sometimes what I like to do is I just like to get a little pick and then just nudge it just enough, and then slides right out. Now I'm doing this with one hand. Now how you would do it is that you would use one hand to kind of nudge it out after you lift that tab with your other hand with the pick. But I'm doing it one-handed. It worked, and we're going to do it with the other side. All right, take your T25, and you're going to loosen the 4 screws here. Each one of these air filters has 4 of these T25 screws. And you don't got to pull them all right out, okay? You just got to loosen them up like that. These things are designed to kind of stay in place. So you don't want to screw them all the way out. Just enough that you can loosen up the cover itself. Lift the cover up like that. Comes right off. And there's your air filter right there. Pull out your air filter. And then you're just going to replace it with a new one. Alright, got the new air filter here. You're going to just install it just like that. Very nice and easy. With this piece here, this gasket here, you want to make sure that it goes into the groove, which is around the bottom part of this air filter housing. Okay, you want to make sure to sink these filters right in. Right, just like that. Okay, now you see the 2 grooves here. This is where the air filter goes in here with these 2 pieces here. Right. I like to put it on a 45 when I slide it in, 45 degrees. And then just cover it up like that. Get your T25 and screw it back in. And we'll take care of the right side, but on the right side I'm going to use my trusty Milwaukee tool here with the T25 bit. Should make quick work. Definitely needs replacing. Now, one thing you can do is that if you see a lot of dust particles in here, right, we can just go ahead and take a vacuum and vacuum that up. Now I'm going to make sure to go ahead and take out that left side again and do the same thing I did with this side, which is vacuum. I did forget to do that, but let's go ahead and get this filter in. Now we're going to go ahead and connect our connectors in here. It's a little area here where the wire snaps in. And then we can just plug our connector in here and lock it in with the tab. Okay, just a little advice for you guys. If you guys are going to be using one of these Milwaukees or something similar, just remember that these things pack a whole lot of torque, even at the lowest setting. The lowest setting is still too much for these tabs. They can break very, very, very easy. So you just want to ease on the trigger when you're tightening it, okay? You can use a little more force when you're taking it out, but when you're tightening it, very light. So I'll take it out and I'll show you again. Okay, and we're going to tighten it, and you just want to ease on the trigger. And just like that. Okay, so all we got to do is just put on the engine cover, and you got these tabs right here. Okay, they go into pre-designated rubber spots. One here, one here, one here, one here, and then two at the back. The last thing left to do is to put on the rubber boot here. So I just like to go from the bottom first, and then stick my finger while I'm holding the bottom piece in place and just bring it around. All right, and that's everything. Get this piece back in place here. Let's see if it's off. Perfect. Okay, with that being said, this car is done. That is how you change the engine air filters on a 2018 E400 Mercedes. I think the C43 also uses the same engine, but it is the V6 twin turbo. So until next time, I'll catch you guys later. This is Mr. Shen.